All right, welcome back to Island Sound and Story. We are still here at Nanaimo Backyard Fest, checking out the music and culture of Nanaimo. And right here, we are in Sound Heritage with Nathan.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Thanks for tuning in.
So you took over the space. How long ago was it?
Yes, I've been the owner of Sound Heritage since June of 2022, so it'll be 2 years next month.
Yeah.
Well,
But tell. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, involved for a year and a half prior, working for the previous owner, John Lemieux.
Yeah. And so tell us, before you talk a little bit about the shop itself, you were saying that this is one of the oldest buildings in Nanaimo, right?
That's right, Cam. We are standing in one of the oldest structures in Nanaimo. This is in the heritage part of downtown Nanaimo. Our best estimate is around 1880 that this building was constructed. And speaking to the city's heritage minister, this may be the oldest standing building still in its original location here in Nanaimo.
So we're approaching 150 for the Sound Heritage building.
Totally. There's a lot of history. This building has been many different things, but it has been a secondhand music and stereo shop for 17 or 18 years.
Can you tell us about some of those past lives of the building? Do you know many of them?
Well, I don't know much. I know there was a cafeteria here at one point, and I'd say about 20 odd years ago, this was an experimental art venue. So there were some underground shows and things happening. There was also an art studio upstairs. Going back 150 years, it's been many different things, but there's definitely a culture and spirit of creativity for the past few decades here.
Yeah, and so you were saying that it was maybe 17 years ago that John got it going in its current incarnation?
Yes, so John Lemieux founded Sound Heritage in 1986, and it's existed in several different locations in Nanaimo and also further up island briefly in the early days. About 17 years here at 33 Victoria Crescent, and it's a pretty special place.
Yeah, and John too. I know you is someone you really admire.
John Lemieux is an incredible man. He took me on when I was, just an eager person wanting to help out part time. He taught me the business. He taught me about stereo equipment, and it's just a wealth of information for music. Still, very involved in the downtown community, and one of my closest friends. So, yeah, can't say enough good things about John.
Yeah, and so how did it come to pass that you took the reins, and what does it mean to take on that legacy?
Yeah, thank you for asking. It wasn't something that I could have predicted. I was on a different career path. I was working in the nonprofit sector, and I had a work from home job. But I've always been passionate about building community, and I have been collecting and listening to music for as long as I can remember. So as I was coming here, just purchasing equipment and collecting records, getting to know John, I realized that there was an opportunity to assist in kind of decluttering and enhancing the store. And I thought it was a great way for me, being fairly new to Nanaimo a few years ago, to get more involved in the music community here. And so I started helping out on weekends, and then it became part-time, and then I left my other role and got more involved. And here we are almost 2 years later. 3.5 since first approaching John. But it's been quite a journey to ownership, but it's an honor to be doing it. So in addition to selling secondhand music, like records, CDs, cassette tapes, even some 8-tracks, stereo equipment, refurbishing, and reselling is a huge part of what we do here. There's a big thread of sustainability. It's a passion. We want to keep quality equipment out of landfill. We want to breathe new life into this equipment. Much of this stuff that you see around is designed in the golden age of home audio. This is when sound systems were such a huge part of the listening experience and in people's homes. And so we're trying to revive that culture. This equipment is quality, it is repairable. And so there's a big sustainability element to that. It's also just fun. It's nostalgic. People love the tactile nature of this era of sound equipment. And more artists are producing their music on vintage formats like vinyl and cassette tapes. So this is the equipment for that. So yeah, the stereo equipment, the repairs, and the selling of it is a massive part of what we're doing here, and it's an honor to be able to provide the service for the community. It is a hub for the music community. We are very intentionally trying to evolve the offering here at Sound Heritage to be more about experiencing music as well as getting the infrastructure for listening to it at home and the media. So Backyard Fest is an amazing example of that, and it's a legacy event here in Nanaimo with very important roots in this community. But as time goes on, we are looking more and more at in-store and backyard musical experiences and finding other creative ways to engage with artists and musicians to have this be a social hub as well as a place for acquiring things.
Backyard Fest, being in the back there, is a big hub kind of culturally. Just as this is kind of a physical space for people to come and appreciate music, this is kind of a real DIY legacy event that has been going on for how many years now?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe this is the 5th year of Backyard Fest. It has since grown to become this beautiful celebration of local music and art here in Nanaimo, attracting artists primarily from Nanaimo, but also from other parts of Vancouver Island and Vancouver and sometimes beyond. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So it's an honor to be hosting it. There are an incredible team of organizers, volunteers, just tirelessly planning this event so far in advance, organizing all the food, gathering the artists, the infrastructure, the tents, the staging, the lights, the sound. It is such an involved community-led initiative. It's a beautiful thing. It's not publicly funded. This is a grassroots initiative that continues to grow. It's remarkable, and I've never experienced another festival like this one.
So what did it mean to take on both the store and kind of the hosting duties for this event that means a lot to people?
It's an honor and a privilege. I hold the lease, the commercial lease for this property and for the backyard. So I do play host to this. I do some assisting with the organizing, but it's really led by another team who have been doing this since before I was involved with Sound Heritage. And it can be stressful. It can be tricky. Especially as the fest continues to grow and there are more eyes and ears aware of what's going on in this very central location downtown. But it always just seems to come together so flawlessly and beautifully, and the downtown community seems to have a lot of love and support for what we're doing here.
And I think you were telling me the other day that there's, it's fun to go to a festival as a viewer. It's always nice and relaxing to come and experience it. But this is a festival where not only you, but a lot of people are contributing something as well as receiving that entertainment. And so you were saying that there's an element of pride there as well that people really take in this event, even if they're a small participant, a big participant. Can you speak to that feeling of ownership and pride that people seem to have with it?
Absolutely. It's so tangible. You can feel it when you step back there during the festival. To be able to contribute in a way, in a way beyond just being an attendee it's a special privilege, and it's a responsibility, and it's something that we do take pride in. Every act brings their own energy, and it's just it's a special scene here. So I highly encourage you to check out what's happening here downtown Nanaimo musically.
Yeah, well, and to check out this place as well, and meet all the interesting people, and to check out the backyard if you can. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for hosting the festival. We really appreciate it, and it's so exciting to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for visiting, Cam, and thanks everyone for checking this out.
All right, for Island Sound and Story, we were here at
Sound
Sound
Heritage.
Heritage with Nathan. Cheers. All right, we are here again with Island Sound and Story in Nanaimo, on location in Nanaimo, here at Backyard Fest, the preeminent DIY scene summer music festival in Nanaimo. Who do we have with us today?
Hi there, I'm Willow Hills. I'm a founding member of Colliding Canyons, a group that played yesterday, and I'm also a member of the Living Fairies drag troupe, and I'm also a volunteer here at the festival.
Yeah, so Colliding Canyons is a band that everyone yesterday was saying, you got to make sure you catch them. You got to make sure you catch them. This is a very popular crew you're part of. What has built up that reputation?
Well, I'm from Nanaimo here. I've been playing and making music in the community for the last 20 years now. Ever since I was a kid, putting out music and things. Colliding Canyon started as a project in 2012 or 2011 with a dear friend of mine, Ian Montgomery. We were doing a radio program at CHLY, 101.7 FM on your dial, such an important part of the community here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we were kind of, seeing lots of different kinds of music, and we were doing some experimentations with sound, and that formed into the group. And since then we've added, and unfortunately lost some members, but, it's been a bit of a turbulent journey, but we're celebrating 11 years as a band this year. So we put out our
decade plus
record, Collapse the Chronosphere, last year, and that was just great fun. We had the opportunity to play in Bowen Park through the City of Nanaimo's Concerts in the Park series, and it was super exciting.
What are some of the other venues in Nanaimo or elsewhere on the island, wherever, that you've really felt good about, been excited to play, or had a really good crowd reception at?
We love to play, just about everywhere. Our music isn't always, best suited for the bar scene. It's, it's an instrumental, rather heady kind of music, and so we don't like to play the bars so much, but the festivals, there's so many great homegrown festivals all over the island. Specifically, I'm thinking about some of the things that we've played down in Courtenay. They were doing the Elevate the Arts Festival, which is no longer happening. Obviously, here at Backyard Fest. We, just about anywhere. We love playing outside, house concerts, And then as far as local Nanaimo venues that are just great, like there's the Vault Cafe. They host a range of fantastic music and things like this.
Yeah, great space.
We've got the Terminal bar, previously the Canby, there next door, which has always been a fantastic space for music, as well as the Queens across the road. So, Nanaimo has really got some wonderful venues. The thing that we're lacking, though, is, all ages spaces, which is the most important thing for me, I think, having grown up here and, kind of seeing a number of the halls and things, stop doing local all ages concerts for a variety of reasons, typically safety issues, that go hand in hand with, having youth and music and, things like this. But all ages spaces we need. And that's one of the beautiful things about Backyard Fest, is that we're able to do it as a all ages event. So I think it's really important. Well, the festival got started out of, it was the dream of a very dear friend of many of the festival organizers that never did come to fruition while he was still alive, because he ended up actually passing from an overdose prior to this beautiful festival happening. To see this festival grow out of that and then grow as a way to honor him has been, a really beautiful thing, especially amidst this ongoing opioid crisis, the overdose crisis that we are currently seeing. And it's just, I think an important part, and important to acknowledge that, a lot of people are being affected, by this overdose crisis, so.
Yeah, and I think that, just as you say, there's a level of celebration to the festival of honoring his memory, but also carrying forward the type of care and kind of practices that are going to keep other people safe into the future, and not kind of turning one's gaze away from the reality out in the community that's been tied to music, as you say, throughout generations and in many places. And trying to put in place that kind of safety infrastructure where it's a coming together, it's a celebration, it's fun, it's exciting, but it's also, I think, I've really noticed this weekend, a lot of it seems very rooted in care and kind of looking out for one another.